Welcome to the station wagon. I'm the older brother, Mark.
And I'm little sister Julie. This is the podcast where my brother and I give up something we take for granted and tell you how it goes.
Buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Hi, I'm Mark. Let's
Hey,
do a
Julie.
podcast. Hey, okay, so this time we're talking about fried food, everybody. We are very excited about this one
Yay.
because we love it.
We
Fried
love fried food,
food.
right? Wait, so actually, Julie, I'm not excited about this at all because
What?
I love fried food.
Oh, that's right, and we have to give it up for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in denial about that part because
Oh,
today
okay.
we're just focusing on the science of fried food, and you're going to give me a cultural quiz about it. We're going to
Sure
learn
I
all
am.
about. Yes, theoretically.
right.
Okay, so why don't we? And then we'll take a break for a couple weeks, and at the end of the episode, everyone will hear how much thinner and happier we are
Oh, brother.
after giving up fried food for
All
2
right.
weeks.
All right.
Okay, quiz.
So you want the quiz? Okay, let me give
Yes.
you the quiz. This is a 3-question quiz, multiple
Okay.
choice. Each question has 3 distractions in it. Ready? That's what we in the business of instructional design call quiz options, distractions. When were potato chips invented? 1635, 1776, or 1863?
1863.
Brilliant. Good job, Julie.
Really?
Wow, you know a lot about fried foods.
I felt like the angel of Doritos on my shoulder helping
That's
me.
wonderful. Does he leave like little orange dust on your shirt when he goes away?
Exactly. That's why after lunch every day I have a dusting of orange. It's not because I'm a terribly messy eater.
No, that makes sense. In 2014, how much fried potatoes did Americans eat? Is that even the right grammar? In
Like per American?
Right. So let me rephrase that. In 2014, per American person, how many pounds
babies?
of
What about
let's
the
call
elderly?
Yeah, no, that's good. These are good clarification points. All
I
right,
know.
thanks for helping me narrow it down.
You're welcome.
In 2014, how many pounds of fried potatoes did every American adult eat on average?
Okay. So I'm
And here's your
assuming-
options. 200.5 pounds, 20 pounds, or 78.5 pounds.
20 pounds.
78.5.
Wow, that is a lot. Of
And that's
potatoes.
French fries and potato chips and anything else fried. But
Well, that's not that much.
the source that I got was that most of that is in French fries.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're much heavier, I would say, per like volume than the same volume of potato chips because they stack better, right?
Because they stack better?
Well, right. I mean, French fries, shut up. French fries, when you put them in a container, they're like rectangular cut. And so they all squish in there really nicely, where potato chips are all wavy. And so there's lots of air between each chip.
By that logic, okay, first of all, things don't weigh less or more depending on how big they are.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
but
okay.
in a volume, like if you took like a Glad bag that was, I don't know, 10-gallon Glad bag and stuffed
right.
it filled with potato chips, you'd have less weight, less mass of potato
Than if
chips
it
than you
was
would
stuffed
of
full
French
of
fries.
French fries. Okay, but it's just by your logic.
I'm right.
Then like a can of Pringles would weigh the same amount as a can of potato chip or a can of French fries.
Well, yes, and that's true. Except I think even with a can of Pringles, I think there is a little bit of air between each Pringle. I have no idea how those guys are made.
way.
But
just
yeah,
like
I
to-
think it's totally true. Yep.
Okay, go. Moving on.
So it's 78.5 pounds. In what state? Not this is tough.
Denial.
In what state, not location, but like what status should a turkey be in when you fry it in your backyard turkey fryer? Should it be
Thawed.
frozen, pre-cooked, or thawed?
Thawed.
Very good. Why, Julie?
So that, well, okay, if it's pre-cooked, you're missing out on like the deliciousness, I guess, of frying it, which like supposedly seals in all the turkey juices, I guess. And clearly I'm not a turkey scientist.
Right. And just want
And
you know, I'm a
frozen.
vegetarian.
Okay.
Right.
And frozen would be not good because it's just too dense to
No.
completely cook through.
Wrong.
Oh, tell me.
Right.
It would cool down the oil too much.
No. Julie, God, this is really basic stuff here.
Real basic turkey frying.
This is really
science.
basic for frying anything.
I can't believe this wasn't in my lit review.
I know, right? What happens when you put any kind of water or moisture into a vat of like boiling hot frying oil?
It sizzles.
No, it explodes. It can catch on fire.
Dude, what are you talking about?
It's totally true. No, look it up.
It's not.
Google it. Like if you have like
I'm
a
Googling
deep
it
fat
right
daddy
now.
fryer at home and you throw like an ice cube into it, which essentially a frozen turkey would be, or like a big ice cube into that thing, it will explode all over the place and catch on fire.
Okay, I'm Googling right now. Ice cube in fried oil. What happens when? Ice cube versus hot oil.
Right.
Okay, here's the thing, that a turkey is not made out of water.
Well, yes,
It's
but a
made out of
frozen one
turkey.
is frozen because all of the moisture in it at a cellular level is ice crystals. Yeah. See? Put that in
No,
your
I
psychology hat and smoke it, Julie.
I try to Google.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to Google everything. Is Kendra telling you you're wrong?
I don't know. Let's see. Kendra, am I wrong? No, I don't think she was actually paying attention. No, like what happens when you get water into fried oil?
Oh, you were right.
Oh, wait. Julie just found out that I was right. Julie. Yeah, Kendra just said it would explode in your face.
Well, I trust.
Oh, right. Julie, put that in your pipe and fry it.
I trust Kendra and BusinessInsider.com more than you, but they both say, yeah, it's dangerous. Can you deep fry a frozen turkey? Here's why you should never deep fry a frozen turkey. A deep fried turkey is one of the most delicious ways to serve your dead
which you already
Thanksgiving bird.
covered.
However, every year people make the mistake of frying a frozen bird, causing untold fire damage to their homes.
Wow. So what happens? Am I totally
don't
right
know.
that it explodes?
I'm
It becomes a weapon of mass destruction.
Untold damage.
Untold damage because people are too embarrassed to tell
They're
anybody
too
about it.
embarrassed to tell it. Okay, did I finish the quiz and win?
You finished the quiz, but I'm taking away the first point that you got on number 1 for not believing me on number 3.
Oh, that's not how anything works.
Actually, you got number 1 and number 3 correct, but because you were so argumentative and didn't agree with me, you don't get any points and you failed.
Oh, man.
No
That
points
sounds
for
like
you.
something that would happen to me in high school.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Well,
Just remember, I want this to be a lesson to you and all of our podcast listeners that it's better to, what is it? Oh, no. It's better to get along than it is to be right.
It's better to get along than it is to be right.
Wait, is that how it goes?
That's terrible
It's better to go
advice.
along than get along?
That's terrible advice, too.
Go along to get along.
Oh, go along to get along.
If that's your priority.
Can I just do this podcast with Kendra?
Kendra might actually be a suitable replacement for me one day, yes.
Okay, let me just talk about some science now.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on a second. She's actually standing 2 feet away from me looking at me. Hold on a second. Kendra, what is it?
I just can't believe that you didn't ask me first.
About what?
For your episode where you're going to do quiz about deep frying because that was my first job. I operated a deep fryer.
Oh.
We have an expert,
But I don't know what I can tell you about it except for I'm an excellent JoJo cook.
Right. So
yeah.
first job was as a deep fryer.
This is weird.
That's called a microphone.
No, he's using unusual headphones today. He's using earbuds. I had to stick his gross
Ew.
earbuds in my ear to talk to you.
That's just wrong.
I know. Afterwards, I'll have to go clean them out. So my first job was operating the deep fryer at Pronto Market.
Okay, let me ask you, how much did they reuse the oil? Was it a fresh batch every morning?
Oh, no. No, but it was a long time ago. I'm sure that the regulations are different now.
Okay, but back
also,
in...
I don't think they would have had I don't think nowadays they have a 14-year-old doing it.
Okay, let's assume that you were 14 just a couple years ago. For the sake of conversation, how often do you think they changed the oil?
I only remember ever adding to it. There I'm sure maybe it got drained. I know there was a cap at the bottom, but that wasn't my job. And I came in every day after school and did JoJo's and burritos and things that people would want to buy in the afternoon and evening. And I just added to it if it needed to be filled when I got there. Maybe it was a morning shift's duty.
Burritos.
How much did you get paid?
Oh, I was paid $3.85 an hour.
Ooh. Okay, next question.
And I smelled great when I came home.
Yeah, I was going to. So you smelled like JoJo's, I'm sure, for the rest of the day. Do you remember what kind of oil it was?
No, I don't.
But probably vegetable.
It came in big, like 3-gallon jars, and it was some kind of vegetable oil. Yes, it wasn't lard.
And was it kind of automatically monitoring the temperature, or was that one of your jobs too?
Nope, I did not monitor the temperature. It was a commercial unit.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't grow up in the olden days. So, I mean, I had to turn it on when I got there, and it would take, maybe 15 minutes to heat up. And I would do my other duties because I was also the stock clerk. It was a grocery store.
Wow, you were very talented in many different ways.
Yes. And then when it would heat up, I would deep fry various food items, and I just left it on for my whole shift, and then I would turn it off at the end of the night. So it regulated its temperature itself. There was some sort of indication that it was hot enough to use.
Okay, last question for you. Do you, when you smell that scent of like frying JoJo's, does it evoke that time for you?
Yes.
Do you have an emotional connection?
And I love it. It doesn't bring back, some people at their jobs, they smell it and it just makes them sick. Like they never want to eat that again or do that thing again. Not I. And I used to work at a pizza place also, and we had to use the Simple Green cleaner to clean down at night. And I use Simple Green in my house, and it always makes me think of pizza. I love it.
We are not doing an episode about giving up pizza, by the way, ever.
That's good, because Mark would die.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what we'd eat.
It
Okay,
would be
well,
so
thank
fun
you.
to tease him. Okay,
Thank you so
pleasure.
much.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Psychology. So you got some psychology stuff to talk to us about?
Just a little. Mostly it's more general science, health stuff.
Okay.
Okay, this might shock you, but eating fried food is not actually very healthy.
What?
Yeah. In fact, eating fried food has been related to... Do you want to just take a guess?
Heart disease.
Yes, that's on the list. What else?
Clogging of arteries. Is that heart disease?
Yeah, sure.
Obesity.
Yep.
Diabetes.
Type 2, yep.
Type 2. Poor skin condition.
No, actually, there's no evidence of that one.
No way. Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? So I could have kept eating fried foods during all those high school years?
Well, I mean, you probably shouldn't have, but it wouldn't have helped your acne. I mean, it wouldn't have made your acne worse. I know. Hypertension, also other kinds of chronic diseases, probably related to this. Prostate cancer is related to it, and also resilience related to depression. So it doesn't, like, eating fried food doesn't make you depressed, but there are some studies, these are from Japan, that saying that when folks ate fried food, they were less resilient to their depression.
Wow, that's really interesting. Do you think that's a good study?
No. So
Oh, okay.
I think it's just, I don't know that one is generalizable. But anyway, there's a huge long list. The idea of if you eat fried food 4+ times a week being related to all these really negative health outcomes is pretty widely accepted. Like, that wouldn't shock people. But the problem is with this literature that it's correlational when we're talking about human subjects, and it's really general. It kind of assumes that we're talking about deep fried foods, and there's lots of different ways to be eating fried food and food cooked in oil. And a problem with these human studies is that they're not very specific about some of the other factors. For example, the type of oil used. Like, are we talking about vegetable oil or animal oil? like fatback or lard. And when we get into vegetable oil, are we talking about or non-animal oil? Are we talking about coconut or vegetable or peanut or
Right.
olive oil?
Right.
All
There's a
those
lot of
things
different
make a
variables
difference
on it, right?
Right. Can you think of another variable that would change health outcomes?
Quantity?
Yeah, sure. Quantity of oil.
No,
Yeah,
I meant quantity of fried foods. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
right,
are you
quantity
in
of-
moderation?
yeah,
Are you eating a little bit
Right.
here and there or what?
Yeah, absolutely. The moderation thing. We'll come back to that. But what about actually frying it? Because there's lots of different ways.
Well, that's really interesting. What about like frying in an aluminum pan versus an iron skillet versus stainless steel? Does that matter?
Oh, I didn't see any studies on that, but that's really interesting. Cast iron, woohoo, for all of us anemic folks. Yeah, that's interesting.
Like, because there's legit things there, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
okay.
sure. Okay, so do you want me to just tell you, or do you want?
Yeah,
to keep
no,
guessing?
go ahead, tell
Do you want
me.
to keep floundering stupidly? Because
So
you're good
this
at
is
it.
specifically about how it's cooked?
yeah, what are some other factors that could change the healthiness?
Well, and you already mentioned the types of oil. Is
Yeah.
it the temperature of oil?
Yeah, the temperature of the oil. So,
Really?
yeah, if it's not hot enough, then the food's just going to kind of soak in the oil. It's not actually going to fry. It might take a little bit to fry. I mean, I know that you cook a lot. So some of our listeners who don't might not know. If you take your French fry, pre-Frenched.
Oh my
no.
God. How about pre-fried? That's how I prefer to think about that. I don't know what you do at your house, Julie, but we keep a clean environment here.
Okay, if you take your raw potato and add it to your oil before it's hot enough, it's just going to soak up the oil. And if
Right.
you keep it in there long enough, yeah, eventually it might start frying up, but it's going to be soaked full of oil.
Right.
But on the other hand, if your oil is too hot, it actually changes the consistency of the oil and carcinogen. Let's see, it's called acrylamide, a potentially carcinogenic substance that might cause cancer. I mean, it is carcinogenic in rats and things, but we don't know for sure if it causes it in humans. But it does seem that when oil is heated too long, certain kinds of oil, it ain't so great. So do you know the oils that you should not heat up to very high temperatures?
No, I mean, I know. No, I don't. I know oils off the top of my head, the names of them, but no.
Okay, so olive oil, for example.
Oh, right.
You
It
wanna be
has
really
a pretty
careful.
low it has a pretty low smoke temperature, right?
Exactly. So when you're cooking with olive oil, you don't want to put your skillet past medium, right? You want to keep it low. If you're cooking with peanut oil, yeah, it has a higher, like you said, burn temperature, so you can cook that one up higher. So when I'm making French fries at home, which I do, I always use peanut oil. Or if I'm making latkes, I'll use vegetable oil instead of olive oil, even though I always think of vegetable oil as not as healthy.
So do you make French fries in a skillet or a deep fat daddy fryer?
A few years ago for Christmas or Hanukkah or something, or his birthday, I gave Jason a deep fryer because he loves French fries. But really, I mean, Olaf, my husband, who doesn't want me to use his name, but really it was actually a present for me that I was just kind of pretending was for him because I really wanted one.
Cool.
We used it for maybe a year or two, but I felt really yucky throwing out the oil afterwards. We didn't use it very often. And then I got a good recipe for oven fries, which weren't as good, but were still pretty good.
Uh-huh.
And so I gave away the deep fryer, and I just haven't used it since. So now I make oven fries.
Hey, can you send me that recipe after we're done here?
Yeah, it's great.
Cool.
It's from Cooks Illustrated.
All right.
Okay. So anyway, let's see. Okay, so the temperature, the duration, just how long you keep it in the frying substance, you're keeping it in there for a really long time or a little. Let's see, deep fried versus pan fried. So deep fried, it's sinking into
Right.
the oil, whereas pan fried, there's just a little bit of oil in the pan. But the biggest thing I saw was whether the oil was used or new. So when you go to, hey, you worked at McDonald's. Did
Sure.
you ever work the French fryer?
Let me think about that one. No, because that was up front and they never let me work up front.
You didn't earn that privilege.
No, I didn't earn that. I was working, my main gig there was doing the quarter pounders and McDLTs. And every time, because the people up front who did the French fries were the people who also had to do the cash registers. And I could never
they can't.
multitask enough to do all that stuff. I think Rob did that though.
Okay, we'll have to interview him as our expert as well. Okay, so yeah, used oil obviously can be heated up more, can have all these different problems, got chunks of stuff floating in it, just kind of been around for a while. It's not as healthy as new oil. And so when you're getting your fried food, odds are that's not like a fresh vat of oil that was just heated up that day.
But what about it isn't as healthy? Has the oil actually
it's actually
changed?
Yeah, it's
okay.
actually changed.
Okay.
So not great. But again, we don't have a lot of really good studies explaining exactly how used versus new versus peanut versus olive oil, all this stuff affects human subjects. So there's some really nice literature reviews out there, meta-analyses that look at all the existing literature, but nothing really conclusive yet. But if you do look at all these findings in summary, and my literature review is available upon request, then you'll see, in general, eating 4 or more meals that include fried food is going to result in a greater chance of obesity and other negative health outcomes.
Right.
If you're just having fried food once in a while, like once or twice a week or less, and you're still eating healthy stuff in addition, then you're probably okay. If you're not thinking of French fries as your vegetable for the day, then you're probably, it's not going to be that bad.
Right. And if you make a choice to have something like sweet potato fries instead of russet potato fries or whatever,
I don't know about that. I know that like your South Beach diet says that. I didn't read up on that one this time. Maybe we could go without carbs sometime or reduce our carbs and look into it. Okay. So there are some nice reasons to eat fried food. Can you think of any?
It does the same thing for me that chocolate does, which is makes me feel kind of happy.
Yeah. It's delicious.
It's delicious. It makes me feel contented. And if I'm stressed out and I don't want to actually do something good for myself, I'll have a bag of potato chips.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's a real emotional connection for you.
Yeah, totally. It makes me feel while I'm eating them, like
while you're right.
While I'm eating them, it makes me feel good. But then right after, and I'm throwing the bag in the garbage, I'm like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
I basically channel my inner Taylor Swift and think, look what you made me do.
Look what you made me do. Okay. Yep. So do you feel bad because you physically feel bad, or because you're like, oh no, logically I know that's a lot of calories and not good for me?
The latter. I don't physically feel bad unless I like eat a family-sized bag of potato chips, which doesn't happen very often.
Okay, so a couple of things. I want to get back to the feeling bad thing, but first, the emotional value. So there's a lot of good studies out there where they tried, public health people tried to get folks to stop eating so much fried food, but there's a huge cultural linkage to the things we eat. And if fried food evokes that kind of feeling for you, the smell of it, the taste of it, the texture is so unique, that's a lot to give up. So that's why, probably what we're going to do for the next couple of weeks, giving it up completely, we're only doing that for 2 weeks. I think it might be asking people a lot to say, hey, just give this up and don't do it anymore. Like we say with cigarettes, right? Like it's okay to just stop smoking. But this is just part of people's culture, part of their traditions.
Well, should we get into now to move this along? Should we get into what it is that we're actually going to be giving up?
In just 1 second.
Okay.
There is some science out there. Some people found there's an enzyme or something in bamboo shoots that you can treat potatoes with before you fry them that like undoes whatever it is that forms acrylamide. So that's kind of cool. Oh yeah, the last reason why fried food is really good is that it's really fast. And so, that's why it's fast food. You can take a food and fry it and it gets cooked a whole lot faster than oven frying it or boiling it. So, although I say that's really good, I just mean in our culture where we need things fast, it makes sense that we want to fry stuff. So we need to come up with some other options there.
Yeah.
Okay. What are we going to do? And what are the fried foods that like you have the big connection to that are going to be hard for you? It sounds like potato chips.
Yeah. So, Julie, I'm going to try to be really stringent on this one and branch out from just things that go into a deep fat fryer. I'm going to include those plus anything that needs oil to cook. So that's going to be my bar. If it needs
me too.
If it needs oil, not like as an ingredient, but like in the cooking process, if it has to be heated up in oil, I consider that frying.
Yeah, I'm going to try that too. Even though I don't really consider that frying on a day-to-day basis, I'm going to also give that up. Any foods cooked in oil.
Right, because, I mean, a lot of the things that we're talking about here, like let's say you just had vegetables all the time that were actually really good vegetables like broccoli and green veggies and things, and fried them all the time and sauteed them.
Were those the only examples of vegetables you could
Yeah, that's all I could come up with on the spot. But no, what I mean is, even if you were just sauteing those things, those super healthy vegetables in just light oil, it's still oil, right?
Right.
And it still has potential health problems if you're having it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or frequently, whatever.
Well, yeah, and the reason we give up stuff is so that we can build awareness of how much we're taking it for granted.
Right. So that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, well, I'm going to give up the same stuff as you, and the big one for me is going to be Doritos because I love them.
Yeah.
And those, like I said last time, those triangles bring me life and joy.
Mm-hmm.
And every day at lunch, I eat Doritos with my peanut butter sandwich. And lately, I've given up the peanut butter because I've gone without sugar from one of our recent challenges, and I've really enjoyed continuing without the sugar. So I've been on almond butter, which is not the same, and the Doritos have kind of helped wash it down. So
nice.
We'll see. We'll see how this all works out. Okay,
Very
so
good.
we're going to take a quick break to listen to the Pleasure Kills and hear from some other podcasters about their experiences with fried food, and we'll be right back.
Bye, Julie. Good luck.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Ian from the Columbo podcast and various spin-off shows. As a Scottish person, I was unaware that there were foods that aren't fried. Can you name any?
Hey guys, this is Rhett from the Brain Trust Brothers Network, host of the Brain Trust Brothers podcast, and to show my love for fried food, as was asked by the Station Wagon podcast, I figured I would record myself ordering through the McDonald's drive-thru like I was going to do anyway on lunch. So this is my order at McDonald's. Oh yeah, can I get a number 7 large with a Coke to drink with barbecue and signature sauce?
And what was that? What did you ask for? Love?
Large with a Coke to drink?
We don't have Coke free. I can do regular
No,
Coke.
Coke.
Or Diet Coke.
A Coke to drink.
Oh, a Coke to drink. I'm sorry. And did you want sauce with that?
With barbecue and signature.
Okay.
And also 2 McDoubles and a small Coke.
Okay, sure. If everything's set on your screen, your total at the first window is going to be $9.38.
Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome back, Kendra.
Hello, Julie.
Mark said a weird thing before. He wanted to know about the times you fed him. Like, were you like...
What is he talking? Was this when he couldn't eat
You were,
with
like,
his hands?
spooning stuff?
No.
He said you had to feed him fried
Why
food.
did he say that? I think what he meant was when I was the one preparing the meals for the family. That's what he means. You said when I fed you, as if you needed some sort of assistance. No, like it was very difficult to choose family meals. So it's always fun a couple of times to choose something that he loves and can't eat. That's always fun. But
Yeah, just
for
to torture him.
for 2 weeks, I don't want to make him go starving, but it was extremely difficult because everything I would plan, I would get the ingredients out and then realize, oh, this has to be sauteed. I fry this first, I didn't realize how much of the food actually gets fried at some point in the preparation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I guess I was
didn't mean
just thinking of like deep frying, but like I don't fry things in oil, so it didn't seem like frying, but it all was.
Right. Like every soup I make, I start with, sauteing some onions and garlic and celery.
Garlic in there, right? Celery. Yeah, you don't think much of it. You don't think of it as a fried food. Soup.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So a few times I was just like, sorry, bud, you're going to have to make a PB&J because this is what the kids and I are eating.
Well, thank you for your subject matter expertise once again.
Anytime. My pleasure.
Hey everybody, this is your best friend Steven,
And this is your best friend, Chris.
and we're the hosts of the podcast Is This Adulting?
Every week, we sit down to talk about life, debate pointless topics, and most importantly, break the stigma on mental illness through opening up about our own struggles and how it affects us every day. Oh, and do you like games? We got those too.
What about guests from all your favorite podcasts?
Ooh, like Justin from Generation Y, or Nina from Already Gone, or Hal Lublin from Everything. And of course, you can't forget our special guest, Tom Bodette from those Motel 6 commercials. Okay, that last one might have been a stretch.
Yeah, just like them. So, join us each Thursday as we attempt to navigate adulthood as overgrown man-children. And remember, kids, be happy, stay healthy, and go hug someone.
Because you never know. They might just be the host of your new favorite podcast.
All right, and we're back.
Oh, you might not recognize the sound of my voice since I'm so slim now from
Your vocal
not,
cords have
eating.
really lost a lot of weight, Julie.
Yeah, you can tell, right? Right? Totally noticeable. How did this go for you?
I hated it, and towards the end, I was not able to keep up with it.
Seriously?
Well, I kind of just found that I was slipping, just accidentally, like.
What? How do you accidentally drink oil?
Well, it's more like, how do you accidentally forget that you're doing this and order something that has some part of it that's fried? For instance, go out with your coworkers to a Thai restaurant and forget that pad Thai is fried.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not just a boiled pasta dish. Right? Or even a curry dish that has tofu in it, you know. I was pretty good early on. I think I actually ordered something that was not fried, like some tofu not fried, where I usually will ask for it fried. But boy, towards the end of this, I was really, really looking forward to having some fried goodness.
Well, I did great for the most part because I got really sick, as you might recall. And so I just didn't feel like cooking for as much as I usually do. We heard from Kendra a little bit ago about what it was like to, and I quote, feed you. And she pointed out that there's a bunch of things you don't think about being fried, like soup. You know, you don't think of soup as a fried food, but it has fried onions and stuff in it. Or you cook onions in oil before you make the rest of the soup.
Sure.
And that stuff, you know, I hadn't considered that at all. Every single homemade dish of food I make, almost every single, includes some component being cooked in oil at some point.
So what did you do? Did you not eat it, or what happened?
I just wasn't cooking because I could barely stand at the end of the day. Kids got home from school and I fed them, you know, and just made them whatever. But then, and I did cook for them in oil, like scrambled eggs and stuff, because they eat a lot of that, being vegetarians.
Right.
But for Olaf and me, I just didn't. And so that kind of made it easier. I think if we were doing this more where we were just giving up deep frying, that probably might have made more sense for this challenge. I certainly went without French fries and potato chips, which the French fries wasn't hard. That's not something I really eat a lot of. But the chips, the Doritos. That was hard.
Yeah.
Mark.
Oh my God. Well, did it help get you completely off of them now?
Yeah, it did. Okay, so here was my experience. Everyone's going to be so sick of me talking about this. But, okay, so I've been eating almond butter sandwiches.
Yep.
And the thing
like you just said 4 minutes ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yes. So anyway, I've been eating these almond butter sandwiches, like I said. But I was thinking about, what makes the Doritos so amazing? And it's their crunchiness along with their taste, right? It's not just like I could have some nacho cheese on the side and that would replace it. So I just tried to be really planful. I went to the store and got the lowest sugar bread I could find, which actually is pretty crunchy and has lots of nuts and pumpkin seeds and, I don't know, flax and stuff in it. And so that was crunchy. And then I cut up an apple. And so every day at lunch, I had cut up apples, which I prepared the day before, and my almond butter sandwich on my crunchy sugar-ish bread or sugar-free-ish bread. And the first day, I was just looking at my bland colors in front of me. Everything was just white. There was no artificial orange. And I was just why am I eating this? And it was really hard to eat it. But then the thing about the almond butter is that it just fills you up so nicely and makes me feel really good. And I didn't get that afternoon yucky feeling. The combination was great. Okay, bottom line, this is my new favorite lunch, and I think I like it even more than my old lunch of Doritos and peanut butter.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's actually been really good. I really look forward to lunch like I used to. And that was my reason why I've always kept eating Doritos, even though I like to be so healthy, is, but I look forward to it. And I don't have a lot to look forward to at 11 a.m.
So is Nutella made out of almonds?
No, Nutella is hazelnuts and sugar and oil.
So that sounds really good.
It is. That's why it's so delicious.
Okay.
So, so that's been amazing. There was one day where I don't know, I was having a bad day. You remember last time you said that chips just make you feel happy?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm eating Doritos today.
Right.
And a weird thing happened where once I started eating them, it was really hard to stop. Just with
that is what a weird thing.
I know. And I probably ate
I don't
two or
think the
three
Dorito
helpings.
company has planned that at all.
No, not at all. I don't think we talked last time about how food companies do, when they're user testing new food, they make sure it has a crunch element and a chewy element, and they look at the mouthfeel and all this stuff. And that's what fried food gives you that great crunch.
Right.
So yeah, that was a little disturbing to see. Oh, wow. I need to put these away because I can't stop eating them. Yeah, that's the one thing that happened. So yeah, that was 2 weeks ago that our challenge ended, right? And because we had to delay this recording today. Every single day I've been having my apple and almond butter sandwich. It's been so good.
That's
I
awesome.
strongly recommend it. Anyway,
you know what? I'll try that out because I think at work we have almond butter available to us.
Ugh, you luckies.
Totally.
Anyway. The other thing that we didn't talk about last time is that deep fried food becomes less digestible, especially when it's in oil that's been used multiple times. Do you know what that means? Something is less digestible?
You're going to have explosive diarrhea instead of
Yeah!
well-formed poops.
Exactly. And you don't get all the nutritional value from it too. So you're deep fried zucchini fritters or whatever. But yeah, explosive diarrhea. So, yeah, I wasn't really keeping track of my bowel movements or anything. But that's nice. Not having diarrhea.
Yeah, exactly right.
Unless your body's really used to having it, and then you stop cold turkey, and then you get all stopped up, I guess.
So should you just really plan on having explosive diarrhea after you go to one of those places where you have share a pot of oil fondue with your friends?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't think so because that oil is probably fresh oil.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah. Right.
So, but I think you probably should plan on having explosive diarrhea after I don't know, where's a French fry place?
I don't know. Don't name one. They're not
okay.
sponsoring us.
Oh, well, we're saying they're going to give explosive diarrhea. I don't think it's really good advertising.
No.
Okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, yay, our bowels. So are you going to continue staying off the... But what about the deep fry? Okay, I know we're both going to go back to pan frying stuff because of ingredients for food and for all the stuff Kendra said and cooking. The last couple weeks, I have been cooking again, and I cook almost every night for at least Olaf and I, although the kids don't like our weird grown-up food. And like I said, I'm definitely using oil there. But deep fried stuff, I don't know. When I eat it, I just try to think afterwards, hey, Julie, this is how you're feeling now because of the thing you just ate. So just
I am going to
that.
keep my consumption of deep fried stuff down to once or twice a month at the most.
Wow.
I want to try to lose about 20 pounds, get from 210 to 190.
That's a lot. You
Shut
can do
up.
it, though. That's awesome.
Shut up. Thank you. And so I think, if I can just do that, which has been pretty easy so far, the harder part is eating all the other stuff that's fried. And and on a lot of that stuff, I can't give up. It's just part of the way that you cook the foods that exist around us. But I'm going to try as much as possible to have non-oily cooked foods.
I guess there's ways to just eat raw and all that stuff.
Nah, I'm not into it.
Yeah, I want to be able to enjoy life a little bit too.
Right.
And if that means eating Doritos once a month or at Thanksgiving, I don't know. I guess we don't eat a lot of fried food then, but whatever the holidays. Oh,
unless
Hanukkah,
you fry your turkey.
Right, fried turkey. Yeah.
Yep.
But Hanukkah, I'm going to eat latkes.
Right, sure.
Those are fried potato pancakes.
Yeah.
But
totally.
Yeah, not every day.
Nope.
And that's what makes it special too.
That's exactly right. Totally.
Okay. So
I'd recommend this to anybody to try it out.
This is one of those experiments where setting it for ourselves for 2 weeks was good. It's okay, well, unless you're Mark, you can do anything for 2 weeks.
Yeah, nice.
And just, build up your awareness. And we did build up our awareness of just how much stuff was fried. And I built up my awareness of just how much I love those Doritos. But also, I could live without them. And I'm really enjoying not having them, actually. Okay, so our next experiment is one I'm so excited for, but we need to talk about it because we are going to be focusing on the way we do correspondence. And we're going to be writing letters to people every day. Mark and I, during our 2 weeks, are going to write a letter to someone. And we'd love to be writing to you all. So if anyone sends us letters, and you can see our address, if you go to wagonpod.com and click on contact, our address is right there. We will respond to any letters we get. So please send us mail and we'll write back. Otherwise, we'll just be writing to all the random people whose addresses we do have and our loved ones. Oh my God.
That just sounds terrible.
What do you mean?
All the random people? We're just going to...
Yeah, people love getting mail.
Okay.
Mark, just write to your kids' friends. Little girls love getting mail from grown men.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Okay, don't do that. I'm just kidding. We should write to political people, too.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean,
Dear fascist bully boy.
I love it. Okay, so anyway, write us letters. Let's see. What else do we do at this point in the podcast?
We thank people.
Oh, yeah. Thanks to our spouses and children for putting up with us. They're awesome. And for putting up with the yucky food that they had to eat because we gave up oil.
Actually, my family did not have to give up anything. They kept eating it. I'm the one who gave it up.
I thought Kendra was saying that, like...
She was trying, but for a few, but then, they were basically like, screw you, Mark. We're having taco night.
Neener.
Yep.
Okay. Go to wagonpod.com where you can listen, see our show notes, subscribe. If you want our lit reviews, just let us know. Oh, thanks for those of you who've reviewed us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. It's really awesome to subscribe or review us because it helps us get more listeners. Also, thanks for sharing our posts on your social media and tag your friends and say, you must listen to this right now.
That's exactly right. With that tone.
Oh, and connect with us on Facebook at the Station Wagon Podcast or on Twitter at WagonPod. And you can email us your suggestions for future podcasts at wagonpodcast@gmail.com.
Like, should we give up clipping our toenails? That could be a suggestion somebody gives us. Should we give up making eye contact?
Oh, I do have a good one I want to talk to you about.
What is it?
Focusing on greeting rituals. So, okay, no, I'll talk to you about it offline.
All right,
okay,
good.
I'm going to make my case. Okay, thank you to the Pleasure Kills for
Thanks,
the
Pleasure
use of the
Kills.
song Modern Problems. And of course, thanks so much to our listeners for sharing our show with your friends and for all the great support you all give us. We started this show just to have fun.
All right,
and
you're getting long in the tooth, Julie.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, all right, okay, goodbye. Or is that too abrupt?
No, that's fine. Bye, Julie.
I don't know how to do it anymore. How do you sign off? It's been too long. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mark. Podcasting.
Yeah. Podcasting. So, Julie,
Start.
here we are. We're podcasting. Hi.
We're podcasting. Hi.
Yeah. Hi.